in our Shanghai factory. OpenNet is a group company with many branches all over China, and our headquarters is located in Xiamen, Jian province. But I'm based in Shanghai. Our Shanghai factory is our Shanghai factory focus on the design, development, and manufacturing of intelligent equipment, especially inspection, especially inspection machines for fasteners and other small parts, both nuts, screws, rivets, and so on. Our machine can inspect such parts and store such parts. Okay, I'm very glad to join me. Today, we'll discuss quickly inspecting fasteners by automated sorting machines. How to achieve quickly, how to achieve quickly inspection. Of course, by manual methods, the speed you cannot reach very high speed. By manual methods, uh, there are four forms. So, first, we can discuss about the quality problem of fasteners. This is a bolt. It's a uh, very common bolt. It's the bolt will be used nearly all industries. It can be found in a machine. You can find maybe hundreds or even thousands of bolts nuts in a machine. It's very common. The fasteners are insignificant parts. I found them everywhere. But it's also very important. Why? Because small trouble, small problem may cause big trouble, even cause catastrophe. That's the case. The famous British Airways BA 5390 flight, the airplane high above the Earth about 10,000 meters high above the Earth. This case is happening in year 1990, and actually the date is July 13th. So okay, the plane is high above the Earth, 10,000 meters above the Earth. Suddenly, the window screen blew off, and the pilots are sucked out. Fortunately, an engineer grabbed, grasped the engineer, grasped the pilot, and the second pilot managed to drive the plane, to manipulate the plane, and they safely landed, or emergency, safely landed airport, and no, and avoided the air crash, avoided the death of the people. But still, it's a catastrophe. And the parents were sent to hospital and stayed there for a few days to recover. Okay, so you can see it's a near miss. It could be worse. The window screen are blown off while the plane is high above the earth. So why, you may ask, why it happened? What is the root cause of this near miss, of this big trouble? The answer is here, the boat. After investigation, they found it was revealed that 84 of the 90 boats to scream they to fasten the window screen are undersized. 84 out of 90 boats are undersized. The dimensions are shorter than what is correct. What is the difference? How this part is shorter than the than they require. Actually, the difference is very small, only 2.5 millimeters shorter than the correct ones. 2.5 millimeters, very tiny difference. Maybe you cannot observe them by human eyes. Maybe you do not have good eyesight. You cannot distinguish such a small difference. But our machines can. 2.5 is easy test for us. Our machines can distinguish the difference as small as 0.01 millimeters. That is 1% of millimeter or 10 microns. It's more. It's very very tiny dimensions. We have very high accuracy. So there's no there. So you can see the quality of the boat may cause the big trouble. The small defects, small imperfection may cause big trouble. That's why we must emphasize the quality of the bolts, of the fasteners, bolts, nuts, screws, rivets, washers, these fasteners, and other small parts. Because although the size is small, but the function is important because you need many parts of such boat in your machine, in your airplane, in your motor automobiles, in your ship, in your tractor, in your truck. Hi guys, welcome to our live stream. This is Howard with Open Next Group. I'm your host today. Right now, I'm in our Shanghai factory, which is about 25 minutes from Hongqiao Airport. So if you want to contact me, you can send an email or call me by automobile numbers, or call me by contact me by WhatsApp. My email number here, my WhatsApp and mobile phone number here. So you can contact me very easily. Okay. Now let's continue. So we must pay more attention to the quality of small parts like fasteners. Quality is very important in current competitive industrials. Many 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 manufacturers are joining the competition. More and more companies can produce the same parts. If you have higher quality, you will win. And if your quality is poor, the inferior quality, you will lose. Quality is so important that without quality, there is no survival. Without quality, there is no survival. So how to guarantee your quality? How to quickly detect the tiny flaws on a fastener, on a bolt, on nuts? Answer is automated sorting machine, as shown below me here. Automated sorting machines. That is answer. That is the answer. We can make a comparison. We can make a comparison between the manual method and the automated machine. In traditional factories or fasteners, how they could guarantee the quality. First, they should guarantee they make sure the dimensions are within the tolerance. Second, they the appearance should also be good. No visual defects are allowed. Visual defects may also cause big trouble. The visual defects like the rust, rust, the defective plating, the damage of the thread, they scratch, they burn, such imperfection. Such flaws will cause trouble at the end user side. So first, we'll measure the dimension. How to achieve the measurement? Traditionally, they may use the vernier caliper, they thread a micrometer, they go and no go gauge, or even use the projector. But it's very time consuming. The efficiency is very low. So the manufacturer had to adopt a sampling plan. A sampling plan, yes. Wait a moment, I'll check everybody have any questions here. They may adopt a sampling plan, sampling inspection plan. They had to do that because maybe the manually is very time consuming. They cannot achieve 100% inspection. They cannot inspect it. It cannot measure each piece, the dimensions of each piece. So they may select 1% or 2% of the total production run and measure the critical dimensions. As a result, there is a risk that the defect parts, the parts outside outside the parts may be slipped through and delivered to the end user and cause big trouble. So that's that. They how to check how to observe the visual defects. Additionally, the manufacturers only can uh, observe them one by one by human eyes, maybe with the help of uh, magnifying glasses, with the help of magnifying glasses. But they check them, they judge them by operators, by the human eyes. So there's no risk. There's also a risk. They misjudgment. They subjective because the judgment made by operators is subjective and inconsistency. They may judge it good ones this time. They may judge it as bad ones next time. And the operators may also make errors. Make errors. Human may make errors due to the fatigue of operators, due to the complicated structure of the parts. They make uh, they make they make mistakes, make errors. So once error happens, the parts may be slipped through. The defect parts may be slipped through and delivered to the end user. So in other words, traditional methods, using manual methods, you can there's no guarantee of 100% good quality. No guarantee of perfect quality product. So that's why more and more manufacturers, more and more fastener manufacturers introduced our automated sorting machines to their production lines. So, uh, so to start, I think I would like to introduce the structure, the structure and the functions of our inspection machine. See the machine below me here. It's made of two parts. The main body of the machine, the main body, and the feeder, the feeder of the machine. The feeder is a vibrate ball feeder. The parts inside will be vibrated and oriented, and finally, the position will be adjusted to the correct position. Actually, the part it's a tiny small pin, tiny axial here made of steel. It's a non-standard part. Non-standard part because you can see as this here. This this surface, the one side of the this surface is bright. The other side there's a hole, but it's not a it's only a blind hole. Blind hole. It's not a straw hole. And here, one end of the part, there is a tiny straw hole. It's a straw hole, very small. So this is a non-standard pin. Non-standard pin, and there's many dimensions. The, the diameters, the height, the inner holes, the through holes. There's so many dimensions to measure, and the appearance should also be good. Any imperfection, any defects on the surface are not allowed. So the parts in the vibrated ball feeder will be oriented, will be vibrated, and finally they will have a position, same position like this. The flat, the flat surface, the hole is at the top. The blind hole is at the top, and the flat surface here is at the bottom, and they will be the pins will be conveyed to the workable table, to the vibrate, to the timber, to the timber bin. Maybe alongside. Hi guys, welcome to our live stream. This is Howard with Open Next Group. I'm your host today. Right now, I'm presenting the machines, our automated sorting machines to you. Here is the work table. Work table of the machine. Work table of the machine. It's made of, it's a round disc made of high transparency, high transmittance glass. We call it glass film or glass disc. The part is worked as it's the work table of the machine. Uh, the work table of the machine. It will rotate again and again continually. So the part will be conveyed through the glass valve through the inner feeder. There's inner feeder. When the vibrated ball feeder and the glass valve, the inner feeder serve as a bridge. Yes, as a bridge. It will convey the part to the work table. Sometimes, in some cases, we use conveyor belt to replace the inner feeder. It depends on the structure, on the function of the machine. So our machines is highly customized. We can make tailor parts. We can tailor the parts according to your requirements. Okay, the parts conveyed to the glass cell. Then the first workstation, there's mechanism with one glass, one steel wheel at the bottom. The steel wheel is a few millimeters above the above the above the glass cell. above the graphite, but they do not touch each other. Uh, there's a very small areas. The steel wheel will also rotate, will also spin, and the rotating speed is the same as the graphite. So the small pin, will be pushed to the corrective position, will be adjusted to the corrective track on the graphite. So they, we can make clear images. We can see the quality of our cameras and see the quality. After that, there's the sensor. The sensor serves as a lookout, or you may call it a receptionist. It will tell the system, it will generate a signal and tell the system that a part is coming. Please get ready to inspect them. Get ready to inspect it. Okay. After that, we come to the first workstation for inspection, CCD1. Here you can see the camera is placed at the bottom. So we can get the bottom view of the part. We can check the quality of the bottom. If there any rust, scratch, any some parts maybe messed up, maybe cut. This part, this defect will be observed by the first workstation. Okay, after that, we come to the second workstation for inspection. CCD2. The camera is placed inside the chamber, but it's placed at a distance to the work table. There's a distance from the camera to the graphite. So it can get a side view of the part. Side view, so it can measure the height from side view. So it can measure the height of the part of the pin, whether the length of the pin is within the tolerance or not. After that, we come to the third workstation for inspection, CCD3. This one is quite unique. Why? Because you can see the size and the shape. It looks like a very big trumpet. Big trumpet. Also, they call it like a coin. Like a coin. Hi guys, welcome to our live stream. This is Howard, your host today. I'm presenting the machine to you. I will make a demo later. Right now, I'm just telling you the structure of the machine. The template here, like a template, the camera and the lens is quite unique because, in fact, there are 8 prisms inside, so they can get the camera can get the image from 8 directions, from the east, south, east, west, south, north, southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest, 8 directions of the pin. So it can get the 360 contour all around the pin. There's no dark corner and there's no hidden area. Any imperfection and flaws around the pin will be observed, will be detected. Okay? After this workstation of the inspection, we will select the parts according to their quality. First is one, OK discharge port. If there is no intersection found on the surface of the part and the dimensions are within the tolerance, these parts will be judged as good ones. They will be corrected by the first discharge port. OK1. After that, we second discharge port. NT1 is the part underside or underside outside the dimensions not within the specification. This part will be judged as NT part, so negative part. So this part will be selected by the second gravity. There's a orange tube. It's a pneumatic device. It will blow off. It will blow off the part. One, there's really introduction any bond on the surface. So, okay, one, that's that. There's a third discharge port. You may ask, why need a third discharge port? Is that a good one and a bad one? The answer is that there may be some emergency. Some emergency happened. Emergency happened, and here the emergency button are pushed. In that case, the power of the machine are shut down suddenly. The power are switch off. A power off. The power the machine stopped it unexpectedly. So in these circumstances, we have to we are not center. We are not center whether the parts remain on the glass cell is good or bad. The quality of these parts remain on the work table is uncenter, is doubtful. So these parts will be judged as retested parts. When we restarted the machine, these parts will be collected through the third discharge port and to be collected and to be poured in the vibrating ball feeder and to be retested, to be inspected again later. So that's the reason why we need a third discharge port besides good one and bad one. Okay, so that's the main structure of the machine and the functions of each workstation. Of course, we can add some more mechanism, more workstations to this machine, such as the automated cleaning mechanism. It's a wheel, but at the bottom there's a bunch attached at the bottom, and this bunch touch slightly touch the gas cell. So in the while the machine is running, while the machine is working, the gas cell is rotating. The bunch will clean the gas cell, the surface of the gas cell automatically. That's one. Another. That's the clean mechanism. Besides that, we can, if your part is complicated and the size is big, in that case, we may use more partners, more workstations to to uh, do the task of inspection. In that case, the machines will also a little bigger than this one, or will be larger than this one. This one, this machine actually is relatively small because there are only 3 workstations. The bottom wheel, the side wheel, and the top wheel on the three workstations. In some circumstances, the part is big and there's all the part is complicated. we need more workstations, more cameras and lenses. In that case, we'll use big machines. This one, the glass style, you can say it's 500 in diameter. The glass style is 500 millimeters in diameter. But but if the part is big, if the structure is complicated, we'll adopt larger glass style with diameter maybe 600 millimeters or 800 millimeters. One set of our machines have non-workstation. Non-workstation. This one only 3 workstations. So we can inspect many items. We can measure so many critical dimensions of this that task with the help of the non-workstations. Okay. So that is the structure of machine. If you have any questions, please come down here. This is Howard, your host today. I will answer you any questions instantly. I will give you a reply right now. Give you an online reply. Okay. Hi guys, welcome. This is Howard, your host. I'm right now in our Shanghai factory, which is about 25 minutes from Hongqiao Airport by car. If you want to visit our factory, we'll be very glad, we'll be very happy. And here, this is my contact information, my automobile numbers, my automobile numbers, my it's also my WhatsApp number. This is my email address. My email address here. So you can contact me, and I'm always here to support you, to serve you. Okay. After that, I will come to the next stage of our live stream. Somebody may ask, what the parts, what are the parts your machine can inspect and solve? Here I will tell you, I will make a brief introduction about the detectable parts, about the parts which can be inspected and be made by our machine. First, this one, bolts. All kinds of bolts, like hex bolts, French bolts, pepper bolts, leg bolts, deck bolts, machine screws, like carriage bolts, and carriage bolts, and stove bolts. Some headless bolts, we call it studs, or set screws. This one is uh, this one is socket head bolt, socket head, which will socket X socket here, so it will accept an Allen key. The material is carbon steel and surface is zinc plating. We may call it galvanizing. This is a bolt with flange, textile with a flange. Also carbon steel with zinc plating. This one is quite unique. It's a copper bolt. The material is copper, and the head is of also there is a flange. The flange here. Okay, both have external. You can see both have external thread all around it, and we have so you cannot from one side, you can notice here has the overview, overviews of the condition of the part of the thread. But we have some special mechanisms, special lenses and cameras. We can get the images all around 360-degree contour of the part by our special cameras and lenses in one workstation. So all of the imperfection will be observed. This is a bolt. Bolts. All kinds of material and surface finish and the head style and the strap type. Another group is this one, nuts. X nuts, square nuts, wing nuts, floating nuts, coupling nuts, T nuts, T nuts with focus, well, we may call it ground nuts, ground T nuts, and some nuts like some special nuts like rivet nuts, and nerd nuts. This one is hex nuts, carbon steel, zinc plating, and you can see have internal threads. Internal threads for nuts, the threads are inside the part, are inside it. For the internal threads, it's also very difficult to observe them, to observe the threads. You can only get part of the view, of the thread. You may if by many methods you may adjust the position to have to check this thoroughly, to check this 360-degree contour of the inside of the internal thread. So we have special cameras. We can get deeper length. We can get the whole 360-degree contour of the internal thread by one shot. That is our advantages. X nut. Rivet nut. Oh, sorry, this is a nerd nut. It's made of brass. Brass, brass is the alloy of copper and zinc. It's a special alloy widely used in many applications, many industries, especially electric industries, because copper has good conductor performance, good conductibility. This one, no, this one nerd nut all around the surface, all around the cylindrical surface, there's a nerd, so it will increase the friction. So it can be easily screwed and unscrewed by human fingers. For this nerd nuts, we developed one machine which can insert 7 different sizes of this kind of nut. One machine, 7 different sizes. Our compatibility is very good. This is a T-nut. This T-nut can be inserted to a channel. This is a rivet nut with half hex and a flange here. The material is carbon steel and the surface is zinc plating, color zinc plating. Here the thread inside, so it's a rivet. It's a nut, as it has internal thread. Actually, we have just one machine under development in the corner of our workshop. I think I think I can introduce it to you next time. The machines for the rivet nut. Rivet nuts. Both nuts. Third group is that third group is screws. Self-typing screws, self-drilling screws, timber screws, drywall screws, heavy screws, we call it set screws, and some metal sheet screws, and wood screws, concrete screws, pocket screws, screws with different head, some pan head, mushroom head, round head, and some flat head, some bugle head, truss head. Okay, this one is for self-typing screws, and the here with pointed end, and here bright head, which will accept an Phillips drive. The drive type is Phillips. This is the set screws. Set screws. It can be there is no head. Headless screw. Set screw. This one is very unique because it's not a simple part. It's a combination of several parts. Actually, there's a spring washer and a plain washer attached, pre-attached to the machine screw. We call it SEM screws or SEM screws. SEM, SEM screws. There are two washers pre-attached to the machine screw. Two washers, one swing washer, one plain washer. Our machines can also inspect the same screws like this. We can not only inspect the machine screw, but also we can measure the dimensions of the washer and the appearance of the washers. The washers. This is a special screw. Also, a special screw, very long. It's 250 millimeters high, long, and the surface finish is dichromated, and the head is pan head with top stripe, and the thread is about one third of the total length. One third of the total length of the rod. For this part, one of our machines can inspect 7 different sizes. One machine inspected 7 different sizes from 100 meters to 250 meters, which is here, 250 meters. So the compatibility is very good. If you have similar requirements, I'm sure our machines will be helpful. Another group is this one. This is a rivet. This is a brand rivet, or you may call it self-typing rivet. Its material, there are two materials. The core, the rod here is made of steel, and the coating, the jacket is made of aluminum. For typing, uh, self-typing rivet, for the brand rivet, you can see its position on the work table is random. The position on the work table is not fixed properly. So we cannot use the graph machine to do the task of inspection. So we developed a special mechanism or throated disc. Throated it's a steel disc, and all around the outer diameter there's many small slots. Small, so the parts can be fixed properly by this rods, and we can measure them and inspect them very the floating disk machine. This one is also a rivet. It's a tubular rivet. There's a hole in the middle. It's also made of aluminum. Another group of the parts is pins. This is a dowel pin, or you may call it a hinge pin. Other pins like copper pins, twin pins, uh, copper pins, locating pins. This is a locating pin, a very small locating pin, and with a shoulder in the middle. There's a shoulder in the middle. Okay, these are the pins. Of course, some non-standard pins like this can also be made, inspected, and I have just introduced the machine. Another group is this washer, fender washers, bright washers, or plain washers, screen washers, screen washers, and the lock washer, internal tooth lock washer, external tooth lock washer, and the sealing washer. Sealing washers is made of rubber and steel. One side is steel, the other side is rubber. Sealing washers. This one, bright washer, plain washer. Usually, washers we can inspect several different sizes by one machine, with seven different sizes of washers by one machine. It's no challenge. It's no challenge for us. This one, green washer, helix green washer, or you may call it relative lock washer. There's an opening here. Material is carbon steel and the surface is zinc plating. This one it looks like a washer, but it's not. It actually is a retaining ring. Retaining ring. We may call it the retaining ring. This external retaining ring used together with the shaft. It can fix the components, the elements on the shaft. Another similar part is internal retaining ring. It can be used together with hole inside the hole. It will fix it will fix the elements inside the hole like bearings like some bushes and so on. Retaining ring. The material is steel and the surface is can see it's black. It's black oxide coating. Okay, this one is quite unique. You can see it's made of several. There are several stages here. There are several stages, several steps, several bulbs. We call it bulb fitting. Bulb fitting. For bulb fitting, there is there a hole in the middle. This part and similar uh, bar fittings. There are 7 different sizes and different finish. One bar fitting have uh, one bar fitting have a uh, black black coating, black oxide coating, and all these 7 parts can be made and inspected by our machine by one set of our machine, and the compatibility is excellent. Okay, this is Bob begins. Another group is some parts like this. It's the shallow bowl shape cover. Shallow bowl shape cover used in automobiles. Structure it seems the structure is simple, right? But the difficulty is that there are 19 different sizes. 19 different sizes. Like this, there are only 19 different sizes, which should be inspected, be measured. How to achieve such a test? How to do such a test? If you develop 19 machines, the cost is rocket. It's too high a price for afford. So we develop only one machine, and the machine can uh, inspect all these 19, 19 covers, shallow bullshit covers, 19. The compatibility of our machine is excellent. Is excellent. Another kind of part is this part. It's also a stamped part, but it's uh, the structure, the shape is very unique. We call it irregular stamped parts. Irregular stamped parts can also be made by us, inspected by us. If you have similar parts, please contact us, and I will give you an answer. We will check them. We will make analysis for you and make a proposal for you. Really, this part is quite unique. It's for bearing, for bearings, for ball bearings. It's made of four parts. It's not a simple part. It's a combination. It's an assembly of 4 parts. The outer race, the inner race, the retainer, or you may call it the cage, and the rolling elements inside. Actually, they are small round balls. For retain for ball bearings, it's difficult. It's so difficult to check the quality by human eyes. It's very difficult to check the human eyes because there are so many parts and so many atoms, so many instruction atoms. So many atoms and very tiny parts will be will very tiny imperfections are not allowed for any parts, any elements of the covariance. So it's very difficult to observe them, to check them by human eyes, especially especially when the part is very small like this one. And it's very small, so small, and here it's running. It's so very small ball bearings. Uh, Actually, there we have developed one machine to check 20 atoms, 20 inspection atoms of this of so small ball bearings. How to achieve that? How to achieve such a task? We developed non-workstations. We place the non-workstations inside the machine, so we can check 20 items include the rust on the surface, the dent, the scratch, the burns, the smudge, the deformation of the cage, the dent on the surface of the cage, and the missing of balls of the balls. They all can be inspected by us, and the typical and the critical dimensions, they like the outer diameter, the inner diameter, the height, and so on, all can be inspected by one set of our machine. Okay, I have showed you a lot of parts which can be inspected as they are all made of metal. Actually, but our machine can also inspect non-metal parts. Non-metal parts is plastic bush, plastic bush, plastic parts, very small. Plastic cover used in the tank of automobiles. Tank, the, the tank cover of automobiles. And the rubber parts, rubber O-rings. And this wood one. It's wood pin. And all around the surface are node wood pin. Okay, our machines can also, besides these parts, can also inspect some parts like ferrite cord, magnets, the silicon steel cord, and some electronic components that uh, dactyl, 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 and some SMT chips, resistors, capacitors, and so on. Hi guys, welcome to our live stream. This is Howard, your host today, and right now I'm in our Shanghai factory, and I just introduced the structure of our machine and the parts, the technical parts, the parts which can be inspected on machines. And if you want to know more, if you have any questions, please comment down here. You can also contact me by my mobile phone here. It's also my WhatsApp number. And you can also contact me by email. This is my email address here. Okay. So our live stream is well advanced, about 1 hour. Now I would like to tell you, besides what actually are the inspection items. What items are the parts? Give for center parts. What are the items of the inspection for inspection? First group is the dimensions. Take the both as an example. We can measure the dimensions like the outer diameter, the largest diameter of the thread. We call it the major diameter and the minor diameter. Could you give me a caliper? Okay, major diameter, the minor diameter, the diameter of the head, the pitch diameter. Yeah, pitch diameter is the diameter of an imaginary cylinder where the 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 width of the thread and the space is equal. It's the diameter of an imaginary imaginary cylinder. And the length, the total length, the length of the thread on the thread part. the length of the thickness of the head, and the dimensions of the socket. The distance, the distance from the opposite edge, from the opposite angle, and the distance and the height, thickness of the head nut. The thickness of the washer. Yes, thickness. This one quite unique. There are several steps, several stages. We can measure the stages, the height, the width of each stage instantly at the same time, simultaneously. Each stage, the height of each stage, each bulb, and the hole here also. The diameters of each here, here, here. The diameter of the rod of the core, and the diameter of the jacket, and the diameter of the branch, the diameter of the hole, the brand hole here, and the tiny throw hole. For irregular stamp parts like this, we can measure the critical dimensions, measure all the critical dimensions. Okay, that's the dimensions. In our work, we can measure nearly all the critical dimensions, all the critical dimensions, all the crucial dimensions, which are important to you. Okay, besides dimensions, geometrical tolerance are also important. Geometrical tolerance like straightness, concentricity, roundness, flatness, these are all important. That's why the straightness for so long of both. I will measure, will guarantee the straightness, flatness of the water. Concentricity, concentricity of the whole inside and our outer circle. Roundness of the whole here. Okay, can be all the nearly all the geometrical variants can be laid out. That our third group is the OCR function. We can know that this letter sum here. We have OCR function, the optical character recognition. The letter sum here indicates the grade of the thread, the grade of the ball. We can sort them, we can separate them according to the grade. Okay, besides that, the fourth group is the appearance, the defect, the visual defect, such as the growth of the thread, the damage of thread, the discontinuity of the thread, and the burn, the crash at the head. The burn here, the coding problem, the dichromatic coding may be not qualified, and the ratio of the coding. Ratio, there are some areas the coding is relative. Rusty on the surface of the wood of the bearing. The bearing. Okay, that's the typical introduction That are the roads which can be observed. So, hi guys, welcome to our last game. I'm really glad you could join me. You can join our last game today. Our last game is well advanced, about 5 minutes, about 1 hour and 5 minutes. Now, if you have a question, want to answer, what are the have any questions, you can comment down here. And I will come to the next stage of our last game, FAQs and answers to FAQs. Now, frequently asked questions, I will answer them. First, what is the speed you can achieve? Usually, the speed we can achieve is up to 1,000 pieces per minute or even higher. 1,000 minutes or pieces per minute. Of course, the speed depends on the size, on the structure, on the shape of the parts you intended to inspect. For usually big parts, the speed is slower. For smaller parts, the speed is higher. For typical middle size, both or not, the speed we can achieve is usually a few hundred pieces per minute. Uh, we can see that 10,000 pieces per hour is easy task for us. Okay, that is the speed. The second question is, what is the guarantee? The guarantee of our machine is 1 year. We adopted all famous brand components, PLC, pneumatic cylinder, the lenses, the cameras, and the computers, and the sensors. These are all famous brands, such as Siemens, Mitsubishi, and the Blaster, computer, Kins. These are these famous brands. So the quality of our parts is guaranteed. These machines is reliable. Okay, the third question. First, looking at is uh, can you machines inspect 7 different sizes of same parts? The answer is sure. We have already introduced 7 different sizes inspected by one machine. 19 different sizes one machine. Our compatibility is very good. So please rest assured that we can inspect several different sizes machines by one machine. Okay. Another frequently asked question is, have you any foreign customers? Have you exported your machine overseas? The answer is, of course. We already have some foreign customers. Some customers located in US, in Japan, some Thailand, customers from Germany, from Italy, from Vietnam, and so on. Okay, that is this for frequently asked questions. Another frequently asked questions about installation and maintenance. How could you uh, serve us? How could you help us to install the machine, to run the machine? We have uh, AR graphics. So once you put on the AR graphics, and we will get the images from your side of view. We will see what you have seen. Well, we can see what you see, and we'll where we can talk online and tell you what to do next. We can see what happened at your side. So it's very easy for you to run machine, to maintain the machine. Another question frequently asked is about the uh, another question frequently asked is about the misjudgment. How could you avoid misjudgment? It's a good question. It's a difficulty of the industry. Many companies cannot solve this problem. We have the AI deep learning algorithm. We have the updated hardware and software, so we can avoid misjudgment. We'll train the machine, we'll make in and verify the judgment in my machine. After that, we'll guarantee, we'll make sure that the machine can make correct judgment again and again. Okay, so our machine, our lifespan is well advanced, about 10 minutes, about 1 hour and 10 minutes. If you have the questions, you can come down here. Now, please allow me to make a summary to make a conclusion of this summary about this live stream. The advantages of our machine. First, accuracy. We can achieve accuracy up to 0.1 millimeters or 10 microns. It's very tiny dimension, and we achieve due to the machine vision knowledge, we can achieve non-contact, non-destructive inspection. There's no risk that the part may be scratched, may be damaged during the inspection procedure. The second is efficiency. Efficiency means that the speed we achieve is 1,000 pieces per minute or even higher. There's a case that one of our customers purchased one set of our machines to inspect their boats, and the result is that it saved 5 to 6 operators, 5 to 6 operators, and the labor cost of 5 to 6 operators in 1 year is about 2 times the price of one set of our machine. In other words, they can recover their investment in 1 year, in half a year. The ROI is only 6 months. So our machines can not only improve your quality, but can also reduce the manufacturing cost at the same time. That is efficiency. Besides that, the third is consistency. Our machines make judgment based on the user-defined, accepted, and rejected criteria. So once there's so user-defined, accepted, and rejected criteria. So so uh, once the criteria, the standard is defined, the machine will make the same judgment again and again. For the same part, the machine makes the judgment 100 times, and the result is always the same. But for comparison, the operators make judgments subjective and inconsistency. They think it's good this time the judge is bad. So the quality is not reliable. High qualified parts is not cannot achieve due to the judgment, the subjective judgment. And besides that, we have AI deep learning algorithm, and will achieve zero misjudgment. Will eliminate misjudgment. There is no risk that the defective parts may be slipped through and to be delivered to the end user. So your so the tiny flaws will be observed in your factory. Will not very small problem will never cause big trouble. Let's say with British Airways case, I have introduced in the beginning of our live stream. There is no risk. There is no such risk. Okay, that's accuracy, efficiency, and consistency. The advantages, the benefits of our machines. So you can contact me by here, by mobile phone. Mobile phone is also my WhatsApp number and email address. And contact me, and I will always be uh, I will always to support you. Will always here to support you. So that is the end of the live stream. Here I have a good news before the ending of our live stream. To end the live stream, we'll have a fair. We'll have a expo at the Suzhou city. It's at the Suzhou uh, Suzhou Taihu International Conference Center. Suzhou Taihu International Conference Center, and the booth number is VIP 6. We will be here from 5th, 5th, from 5th September to 8th, 8th September, and we welcome you to our uh, expo, to our booth. So that is the end of live stream, and have a nice day. See you next time. Bye.